Stingu. Stingu Pingu. Uh, sorry, what? Anyways, this ought to do it. Did I open two? I did. I'm gonna start today with a color study first. Too lazy to wait for like the 9:30 timestamp. No, not timestamp. The usual start time. I've been sitting here for like half an hour. I'm like, I'm just gonna start 1 minute early. It's not really a problem. It's not really a problem. Okay, so the bigger problem now, the biggest problem now is I don't know what colors I want specifically. The original, this one looks really nice. So I'm gonna start off with a study of this, I think. And then I might do the other ones as well, because we're just putting down big blobs of color. And then when I feel ready, when I'm done, I hope I have a better idea of what colors I want. And then we'll go from there. Uh, I can't quite see the border of the thing. It's too faded. Everything's too faded here. Can I have a round brush now? Yeah. Doesn't have the texture though. I like the texture. So hard to see anything. Uh, Hello, George. Hello. It's me. Kinda tired. Cause I didn't my nap was a bit earlier today and now I'm kinda tired already. Somehow. Hello Mao. Hello, tired too. Nice to meet you. I'm tired. Ah, so funny. Wow. Master comedian. Isn't this song from like Braveheart or something? A Gladiator. Oh, Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer. Uh, Anyways, I'm just doing some studies here. I just want to get a feel for where the colors are. They look really nice, but I don't know where they are. So unless we use it, I end up using the same exact ones. It's not really gonna fly. But if I know where they roughly are, I can sort of get an idea of the relationship, and I think that's gonna help. It better. It better. Ah. Yes, thank you, George. Appreciate the kind words. I think looking at this Rossi here that we had, I actually would like to see this be completed as well as I could do it without going overboard and burning out again. But I think time and time again I realized the same thing. I come to learn the same thing, is that I'm not exactly just like completely dead. I'm just tired. And then when you're tired, you just don't have that capacity to imagine and dream. So naturally, nothing really, there's nothing that you kind of feel because you just don't feel anything. Feels drained because tired. Feels like things are hard because tired. You know, everything is just tired. So if I just be less tired, I think we can, it'll be fine. Kind of like the thing I was talking, like I think show, was it show? Someone at some point was asking about process and stuff, and I think at that stage in time, I broke it down into like, you know, there's the part where you're not sure about if what you're doing is correct or not, and you feel uneasy and so on and so forth. That's understandable, right? But then there's also the part that is equally understandable, which is you know that you're doing the right thing, but just because the progress is slow and you feel tired and whatnot, you don't really feel very inspired and so on and so forth. I think I'm at that stage where like what I'm doing is, I think, logically, objectively gonna get us somewhere. But I just need to do the emotional management part where I just keep myself on track. I think that's the part we're struggling with at this point. Just the monotony of it all, because practice is not very glamorous. It's very boring. It doesn't have to be like this, I suppose. You could try to create something more, but then I get burnt out again. I think this is kind of it for us. Thereabouts, I think. I'm not too worried about the really dark red stuff. I just want to take a look at the balance. I'm not sure how close this is to the original, but I've taken to using the navigator on my other monitor, so I have two references for color here. I have my own tablet, and I have the one on screen on the other monitor. And hopefully is a, you know, kind of like hedging your risks. I'm kind of seeing both. I asked ChatGPT to find me some new tablets, but I haven't looked at the results yet. I gave it a list of requirements and gave it a couple of steps, and I asked it to go find shit for me. It'll be nice if you just found something and I'm like, yeah, this looks really good, and I'm just gonna buy it, and then I can be done with this process. It'll be nice. Just get it done with. Am I the wrong layer? No, I'm not. Wait, what? Why is this? I'm hallucinating. Okay, never mind. Don't do that. Do this. Actually, no, do that. I don't need that. I mean, this is kind of it for this one. I'm gonna go to the washroom. When I come back, I'm gonna try and put some colors on Rossi again. Be right back. Yeah, yeet. Uh, Hang on a second. Rossi's inner is white, right? And then it fades out. Okay, we can use that. You know, I realized today that yesterday I was joking about like a Tang Tang Rossi and a Gilberta team, and then I saw today that apparently someone has already tried it out, and 2 days ago apparently they made a video and they posted it, and apparently it's like super duper strong. Like the burst damage that she can put out is like 500,000 or something. If you have the correct setup and you do all the combos correctly, you can nuke all the endgame bosses in like one cycle. So since it works, I am actually also going to build that team myself then, because it combines all the characters I like, so it's great stuff. Only one is not able. I cannot include, but it's kind of interesting because yesterday I put together what Tang Tang, Rossi, Gilberta, and Aviwena. And it's interesting because Aviwena doesn't quite work in this case, simply just because I think she's not really good at proccing, like applying her arts that easily. But otherwise, it's like an electricity operator, and the guy in the video used Perlica, so we're pretty close almost. Like we're kind of close to actually having like the exact same setup by chance, not by skill, of course, because I don't know what I'm doing, but pretty cool. Could be very interesting if we can get something very strong, but still has other cool characters. But yeah, like not enough money, huh? Not enough money, not enough materials and all that. But I got pretty close today though. I was trying to put together the team and upgrade it. Everyone's level 90. Everybody's weapon is level 90. It's just the skills. The skills need so many materials. I don't have enough. But otherwise, they're actually pretty making pretty good progress there, putting the team together. Pretty good stuff. Man, what color should her hair be though in this case? I think we have to just make it more saturated and see where we go from there. Also, I forgot to put the inner color on this on layer. Actually, it would just be white, wouldn't it? If it's just gonna be white, then it should be on the white layer here. Nah, let's separate it. Separate it. 何がいいんだろうね? Just do this color. Nice. How does it work? Is this separated? I mean, I drew it separated. I guess I'll just go with my own consistency here. A good excuse to hop in game right now, honestly, but let's not get too distracted. Oh, but I realized that if I want to make the team really strong, I'm gonna need to do a lot of the artificing thing. You're gonna need a lot of copies of all the equipment and stuff. That's gonna suck. That's gonna take a while. I'm gonna have to upgrade all my factories too. GG. Be it, I think. So how do I want to do this, right? I need a copy here, I need a copy here. I'm going to push this copy down. That serves as our reference. And then I need to push this copy down just because I want to work on the same layer. So that would be that. So okay, so what I wanted to find out was basically there's a couple of things here that I wanted to find out that I really like about this, right? First of all, it's all these grays. I think this is the part that I like the most. It's just like it feels like it's gray, but it's not even that desaturated. I feel like it's still pretty colorful. I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, especially because like the hair here is super duper saturated, but maybe mine's a bit more. I actually can't tell. But anyways, I like the grays. They're really coolness against the orange and reds. But then specifically for the reds and orange, I do like that, right? But they're like the gradient. Like I like it because there's this gradient setup. You go from slightly yellower and brighter into like the darker and more purpley. But I think I even right now I'm still not 100% sure, but it's definitely a lot more purple than I expected. I thought it was more orange and red rather than purple and maroon and like, you know, the more bluer stuff, because it just looks red to me. So that's good to find out. The last thing would be kind of like the darker spot parts, kind of to figure out what the value contrast is. I don't think I've gotten that part just yet. That part is still a little bit off. I think mine's a bit too yellow and orange. I think I need to push it bluer still. It's so hard to see. My tablet's not very good now with the minute colors. There's one absolute problem with this tablet is that it doesn't really see saturation points between like, I think like 2 or 3 points, I think. I cannot see it. It's not visible on the tablet. And then let's see. Blue, it's a bit too blue. What am I looking at? What's all this actually? Oh, it's the lines. I was talking the line color. I see. I don't need this anymore. So I need to just maybe make it a bit more orange. If I want to keep the same palette that is. But I think overall we are just a little bit bluer because I don't really want that much yellow. So I'm going to shift things a little bit more blue here, I think. No, actually the background might copy the... Actually, no, let's hang on. Wait, what? Oh, you're showing the base color at the bottom. I see. Makes sense. My brain doesn't register what's happening because like the layering setup is really weird. It's getting me very confused. So what's happening? Did I not merge it down yet? No, I did, right? What? Oh, why is it not selecting what I think it's gonna select? Still confused by the setup. Oh wait, where'd it go? What? Yeah, I have this. Copy and pasted it down, no? So it is here. Did I not merge down? Because my selection didn't work properly. I'm so confused. Yeah, now it works properly again. Huh. Oh. As long as it works, I suppose. Right? It works, right? Okay. Okay, let's see. What is the color? It's kind of dark, is it? It fades back out to, it's going black. But this is different. This piece is different. Ugh. It does go back to red, I think. So it just returns back to red. Okay. Why are these guys so far apart, man? I see. The lines are not playing nice right now. The original, the reference looks so nice is because the lines are really colorful too. Mine's too dark right now. Can deal with that for sure. Oh, shadows are also very bright. I think it would do well for us in this in the theming at least. For there to be a decently noticeable shadow across her face, I think. Oh, you're right. Actually, if we do Piotagu's setup, that means actually we're kind of dealing with two sets of the thing. One in the shadow and one that's not. So currently, I guess we're just dealing with the light for now. It's kind of hard to do just one. I don't really want to deal with hard light either at this point. Let me see. Let me check. I should make sure the sign is always turned off. Yeah, so this is the base selection layer. We have some ghosts from the top here. ちょっと待って、どこ線が合成レイヤーも一旦、でもこれは関係ないか。柄。So without that, it's literally just this, right? So this is our... Let me just take that out for a second. This is the flat base layer for selection, which we have. Over here, this is the equivalent, which you cannot see right now, but this is the equivalent here. The color itself doesn't really matter. So this is for selection. And then on top of that, there is the rendering layers, starting off with one layer for all the shadows. And then one for all the light, I think. No, this already has shape. Actually, is it inside? Oh, it's inside. Oh, okay. So we ignored this red one because you guys can't see it at all. Let me just go through this. So this red one is ignored because this is the sort of paint over layer, essentially, is what it is. Right, so selection, flats, shadow stuff, the layer for shadow, and then the layer for light, I think. It should be this. This is some sort of a middle adjustment thing. So at its core, this is it, right? So one layer for selection, one layer for shadow, one layer for light. That is the core of it. And of course, within the layer for light, there's more stuff here. And then there's some adjustment here. That by virtue of being only underneath the light layer, only applies to the shadow layer. So this makes no difference if it's inside or outside. It does make a difference because we are... What's the difference here? Oh, it's not necessarily a difference. Right, it's because of the hard light effect here. It's because it lost the hard light effect. If we put this back to hard light, it should go back to looking the same, I think. Yeah. I'm trying to test to see if what I'm thinking makes sense. If it is, then the layer is probably doing what I think it does. This way I know that I'm not getting it wrong here. But let's say I take this out for now. What is in the light layer? So this is definitely texture. This one for sure is texture. It's way too flat to be anything else. This here is light, but only for the trees. This here is for this, and this here is for... Wouldn't it make more sense if it was done like this? So, like, I believe all of this, like, this part of the layering setup was done before we had the one-on-one. So I too, do not really know what's happening here, 100%. What I want? Just layer adjustments. Okay, that's fine. And then once these are done, can I take away these and still have this be good? No, cannot. It doesn't work. So what exactly is this guy doing then? I think she would have merged everything in here. Right, I think it's a merge in everything in there and then replace that with the new one. And then she would be probably picking colors from this layer specifically while looking at the final after post adjustment colors. And then she'll be doing a paint over to improve the resolution. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So where are we at right now? I have the base. And we are basically adjusting the light layers is what we kind of are doing, I suppose. So we would need like a shadow layer underneath. So that later on the light layer would serve as a... We can put a sort of a clipping mask on this, for example. Oops. I can put a clipping mask on this. So let's say I dupe this. I'm going to delete this. So this is the light. And this is the dark. Right now there's no difference. I'm just going to randomly push this down a little bit. So this will be the shadow, right, quote unquote. And then the light layer can be selectively shown if we just delete the mask here. So if I want her face in the shadow, then this would be how I do it. Kind of awkward to do it with a pretty square brush here. I don't want it to be too dark, but I need it to be dark enough now just to see where the shadow is gonna fall. How did we go from like classical music to meme music? So anyways, this is the entire... There's probably more shadows outside, but I don't care about it right now. It's also like this part here, right? I suppose. The original is really good because the shadow is basically not really that strong, right? It's just desaturated and more purple, bluer. We kind of want to replicate that. Alright, let's not forget about that right now. Figure this out first. I can do something like this. Of course, there's more shadows. I think I'm just gonna ignore these for now. And then with this, I can play around with this. So for her setup, there's one additional layer in between that does the gradient. And this gradient doesn't necessarily, I think, follow any specific rule. I think in this case, let me see what is it doing here. I'm just gonna take this out. I just want to see the original setup here. So that's the shadows, right? The light is in here, right? So this is the gradient that's being put in. It's just secondary light sources in the shadow. Right, that makes sense. That's always what it's gonna be either way. So whether if it's because there's a secondary light source directly shining on it, like the shadow on the grass here, is receiving the blue light of the sky rather than the yellow light from the sun. Or it'll be some kind of bounce light from the bottom up. In this case here, the blue likely is some kind of emphasize the atmospheric perspective. We have subsurface scattering from on the yellow on the leaves. Yeah, so this is a general catch-all for everything. Yeah, the reflected light on the inner side of the shirt, but that could also be subsurface scattering. It does look very blue though. It looks very desaturated. This looks like a... What color shirt is this actually? It looks like an orange shirt or something. Orange jacket. If it were just a subsurface scattering, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Either way, it's being lit for some reason. One reason or another. The color here just suggests that she choose to emphasize the sky instead of the material itself, right? Because if the orange jacket was showing subsurface scattering color on the yellow light, this would be a lot more yellow than orange. But it's just an artistic choice, I think, to balance things out. But the butt here definitely is reflected light. So we have everything, basically. Bounce light, atmospheric perspective, subsurface scattering, as well as secondary light source from the sky. Actually, this is like pretty cool that it kind of basically has everything. Oh, actually, this green on the foot might be a better sort of example for bounce light, because this is still kind of blue. No, actually, well, if it's a blue shorts, it is greener. Oh, okay, so they're both bounce light from the ground then. I think logically for me, this seems very very blue still, very dark too. It's not yellow and green enough for me to consider it as truly bounce for myself. I would have made it a lot greener, I think. This is one of those things that she mentioned about the stylization versus whatchamacallit, realism. What's a good color here too? What's a good layer? I don't think I can. If I do this, like I'm on my own basically, because the original doesn't have anything like this. So if we do something like this, we are really just on our own here. Maybe I could just bring this up. Yeah, it doesn't really work. This looks kind of cool in and of itself, but that's my layer. In between, right? So actually what layer? Oh, she's using hard light on all of them. I don't really get hard light. Like, it's not very intuitive for me. So I don't know if I can use hard light as well as she does. Or as comfortably, rather. Oh, this is kind of nice, actually. This is kind of nice. I do like the colors I have here. There's a bit of an issue when the shadow has more saturation than the light, right? The hair is really, really gray. Really, really dull here. All of a sudden. Yeah, we're operating very close to this top part of the triangle here. If I go anywhere lower for the bright stuff, it's not gonna work. Because then the shadows will look relatively way too saturated, and it's not gonna fly here. Okay, okay, okay. I think we're going somewhere. Not so sure about the rendering per se, but like at least right now we're kind of feeling it. At least on my tablet. Wait, hang on. I gotta check on the navigator. Navigator looks kind of okay, I think. So again, realism versus stylization. I feel like for the purpose of this piece, I feel like the shadow should really only be concentrated in this area. Like every other part, even if there should have shadow, I feel like I shouldn't have any. But let me just take this here real quick. Oh my god, I haven't heard this song in years, man. When I was learning guitar, this is like one of those pieces. That was like 15 years ago or something. Holy. This sounds way cooler on the guitar, by the way. Because it's I don't know what to call it, but like the quality, the timbre of the guitar sound fits this so much better, in my personal opinion. Maybe it's just because that's the one that I've always heard. I think there were two as well. I can't quite remember, but yeah, guitar, man. I remember being so nervous for the final exam. Like, I don't know if you guys do music, but music is split into grades, right? And for every grade, in order to advance to the next grade, you have to take an exam. So it's just like your JLPT if you're doing JLPT. But music kind of has a limit, at least for normal people, right? Most normal people don't go into like super hardcore stuff. And for guitar, so the numbers are kind of different for different instruments, but generally speaking, you go from grade 1. Why can I not write? I have a selection. Okay, I'm tripping. I'm tripping balls because of this. But anyways, you go from grade 1 to 8. And then if you want to go higher than that, you can do, I think you can do like diplomas and masters. I can't exactly remember like how it went. But basically anything beyond this point, you're going into like a music sort of school already. I think they call it a conservatory. I'm not sure about the terminology, but most normal people kind of stop here if you're doing it for hobbies. And then when I was doing the final exam, the number of 8th exam, holy shit, I think the guy let me pass out of pity. Because some songs are really weird. Some songs you have to tune one of the strings down to a different note, right? You have your standard tuning for your guitar, your 6 strings. I forgot what the tuning was. I mean, it was like god damn, I forgot even the tuning. It was E something 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 and then E at the very top as well. I was. If you talk to me back in like 2011, 2012, I think 2011, 2012, that was the peak of my classical guitar. No, I cannot. Like my classical guitar is not it's not the same kind of guitar that you might necessarily think of. You have to look more like the Spanish kind of guitar, but not even like that kind. Those, like the Spanish guitar players are kind of crazy. I saw some of the techniques that they do with their hands for like the flamenco. I don't know what if flamenco is a type of song, a type of dance, or a type of technique. I can't remember, but it was something, it's a type of something. Let me look it up real quick. But it's like a very specific way of playing the guitar. It's like a dance, right? But it's flamenco guitar. Oh no, it's just a type of guitar. Oh, it's flamenco music, right? Okay. No, not flamingo, like flamenco. Like, it's like this. Like, spelled like this. And then, basically, there's a specific way of strumming the guitar. Like, if you listen to some of those Spanish songs, you hear this really quick, rapid succession of, like, strumming. Like, you have to use all fingers and your wrists at the same time. It's very cool. And then there's another technique where you sort of imagine you open your hand, right? Right now you open your hand, and then you're forming a fist, but you're forming a fist starting from your pinky, your ring finger, your middle finger, and index finger, and then you open up again. And then you do that again. And then you do that again many times. Actually, I forgot which way it goes. Maybe it's like index finger first, or is it pinky first? I think that's a personal preference as well. And then you go and then you spam that on the strings. And then you will sound really crazy. Sorry, why am I talking about this? Anyways, I passed because I think the guy took pity on me. He gave me I had to tune the strings to a different node. For one of the songs. There you play 3 songs, right? You one of the songs I tuned it down. And then for the next song I tuned it back up, but apparently I was out of tune. And then the guy was like, "Yeah, you gotta make sure it's in tune first, bro." I was like, "Fuck." Like, holy shit, dude. I'm not passing, am I? And then I passed with 1 point, I think. For the entire exam, I think. It is what it is. Did I mention the one time I tried to audition for like a competition? It's not a teacher. Well, the examiner is a teacher, but it's not your usual teacher. You have never met the person before in your life. That's the whole point. It's actually kind of strict. Like the rules and everything are very strict with respect to like how the exam is set up, who is the examiner and whatnot. But never met the guy before. And then when I did my audition for like a competition, you are like, okay. I think I became a legend that day, if I'm being honest. It's not for a good reason though, but just imagine a top-down view of the room, right? Top-down view of the room. And then this is the stage. It's like a very tiny room, by the way. So you have rows of seats like this. And this is, by the way, just the audition. And then you will sit here. And then there's a mic here. And then like there will be judges over here and judges over here. And then like the other examiners, the other competitors. And then their parents and stuff, they're all sitting behind. I'm just gonna do like triangles and squares. So maybe some competitors, some parents, you know, some competitor parents, that kind of stuff. And then this is just the audition. So what they're trying to do is to just do an initial screening to filter people out. They're not good enough. The actual competition, you actually go into one of those like really big auditoriums to play. Like if you watch like Your Lie in April, it's like that. I'm sure you guys know what an auditorium is. Like this, right? The actual competition is in a place like this. But then for the audition, it's just like a tiny ass classroom. What I did was that I went up. On my turn, I went up. I sit down. I start playing. I was reading my score, right? You read your scores. 5 lines. I read my score. I was playing and playing and playing and playing. And then halfway through, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And then I just have no idea where I was. And then I had the option to just keep playing. Like, actually, like the technique here, by the way. If you're truly lost, what you're supposed to do is to keep playing and then let yourself, if you practice enough, just let your hands take you. Because it's going to bring you, you're going to be able to play a little bit longer, even though you haven't been reading. Because when you're really playing music, you're never really reading here and playing here, right? You're reading here and you're kind of playing like here or something. So you kind of have a bit of a buffer. You're supposed to just let yourself play out that buffer. And then in that buffer zone, once you sort of reach the limit, you also will kind of automatically transit somewhere. You will feel like, okay, yeah, this is a logical progression of the song. And then you will start playing it. And then in the meantime, you just need to find a place in the previous parts that you have played where that point is, and then you just continue as though nothing happened. It's gonna sound like everyone's gonna know that you screwed up. Everyone's gonna know that, but it's a lot better than what I did, which is I just stopped right here. I looked at the sheets, and then I said shit. I literally just audibly said shit on the stage. And the best part was that, like, the audition, even though it's an audition, they're recording it. There's actually a camera right here. And it's like one of those, like, camcorders. It's like kind of old. Right, nowadays, people just use their phone. Right, it's like one of those camcorders with, like, the thing that opens up. And then it's, like, on, like, a tripod and shit. So they're just recording this dude playing, halfway stopping, just fucking said shit. And then you know what I did immediately after that? I decided that I'm done. I just fucking stood up, and I just walked back. And I sat down, by the way. If you think about it, like, maybe it's more natural. Maybe it would have been better if for me to just have walked out. But I didn't walk out. I just fucking sat down. And I'm like, yep, I'm done. Whatever. You guys go ahead. I don't care. I didn't say a single word. Right? They called my name. I went up. I played as much as I could. I stopped. I said shit. And I just got up and I just walked off. And it was all recorded. I have no idea, man. Like, the recording back then, we were still using CDs, I think, or something. They were still using CDs. And they were trying to burn, like, a CD for people to take home. For all the competitors, eventually, when things are done, with the final actual competition recorded as well, but... I'm gonna go ahead and guess that they include my part. My parents weren't there that day, but my teacher was. I don't remember how she reacted, but she definitely was very supportive, because by virtue of the fact that of me not remembering means she didn't make it a very bad memory for me. So, really good on her part. But yeah, great experience. I think the best part was I actually went to the final competition too, as like an audience. Like from their point of view, I think they probably thought that I was just like either autistic or that I am just so freaking confident in myself that I can, you know, like, because usually people will feel shame, right? If you stop halfway in the thing and said shit on stage, I had the balls to go back and sit back down in the same room instead of just leaving the place. And then going to the competition and showing my face again. I think they think I'm insane, dude. But I don't know, like, in the heat of the moment, the only thing I felt was, oh, I kind of screwed up. Oh, I said shit. I guess I don't really want to restart. It would be kind of awkward for me to restart. There is still always that choice to restart, by the way. The thing about these things is that people don't really chase you off the stage unless you're, like, taking forever, you know? If you stopped once, if you failed once and you stop and you just want to restart, you're a kid. Like, I was, like, pretty much still like a kid. How old was I? I think it was oh my god, how old was I actually? I know I'm not like 18 yet for sure back then. So I'm pretty much a kid in everybody's eyes, especially like all the old people, all the old examiners and judges and all that. They wouldn't have cared. But yeah, I honestly didn't really want to do that thing anyways. I was just gonna go ahead with it. But to be fair, if I didn't want to do it, if I didn't want to do it back then, oh, sorry, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that if I really value my own opinion that much in the first place, I wouldn't have even done guitar in the first place, right? So I was just trying to push myself along to keep doing it, even though I didn't really want to do any of it. But that moment, I think I just decided that it was kind of enough. I didn't feel like restarting. I think it might have been, yeah, it might have been 15, might have been a little bit older. I don't know. How long have I been playing back then, actually? I can't remember how long I've been playing. What color are her eyes again? Yellow, right. Yellow with the white speck in the middle. I like the art a lot more because there's the blue in it. And the red. Very cool. You got shaken and cannot walk straight? Right. You know, I remember the first presentation I ever did in front of my class of my entire life. Like, my first literal presentation of my entire life. I was shaking under the table, too. But I guess that's how it is. But I managed to say everything I want to say, and I just walked back to my table. Um, I don't remember anything after that. I just remember my legs shaking. I don't remember what I was presenting. Um, yeah, I don't think, honestly, like, confidence of, like, talking in front of people is, it came pretty late for me. I think just by virtue of the fact that I don't really like talking to people, you know, you don't like being in a social situation, don't really like being called out, don't really like presenting in front of people, because I don't really like to show stuff in front of people. Maybe I do. Maybe it's just because I don't ever think that what I did do is good enough, because I am here kind of drawing like this. But then again, I'm also not really too keen on posting shit on Twitter either. So I don't know if I've how that works for me right now at this point. But yeah, I feel like it came pretty late. But yeah, anyways, life is interesting, very very interesting. A lot of things that shape you, I suppose. Did it go well though, George? You messed up half piece. So like, did you forfeit the thing then? GG's, perhaps. You forfeit, I see. Did you ever do another one? I think my teacher tried to enroll me in the next one, the next year. I don't remember though. I vaguely remember doing it again, but I don't know if it was before the screw up that I did or after the screw up that I did. Oh my god, it would have been so ballsy of me to try it again though. I feel like in my case, I didn't really feel like I embarrassed myself. I just thought that I screwed up, and I thought that I didn't get a second try. That's why I just kind of got up and left. Thinking back now, I've realized that nobody would have cared. They would have just let me give it another go. But back then, me was like, yeah, I screwed up. That was my one chance. It's someone else's turn now. Goodbye. And then I just got up and left. But yeah. Competition, huh? Yeah, competition. I mean, I would like to compete, but I would like to compete in things that I want to compete in, you know? I think, like, I do like competition. I do like, actually, it's one of my main driving forces in the past for all my academic results and stuff like that. It wasn't that I liked studying. I mean, I do like learning stuff sometimes, but not all the subjects, right, for sure. It wasn't that I was like super diligent or anything. It was just because I felt the pressure to be like, to have to push myself to be at the top. I think that was my main motivator. Maybe even now, like for art, if there's like a ranking board of like, hey, you did like 10 pieces consecutively and stuff like that, I might have been more made more progress. But if it's good progress or not, though, like it depends. So I would say, I think there is a value in us going kind of slow like this, and me getting stuck constantly, and then having to reframe my point of view and learn more things about myself this way. Because competition tends to make you a little bit more blind to progress, right? It's more about the result. But result isn't necessarily what you want at all times here. I think I would say, like, so far, like, in our journey on stream, the biggest gains are not the actual art so far, still. It's still actually, like, just understanding my motivations and, like, what is it that I'm trying to do. And then, like, with the discovery, even just this week, I feel like we've gotten so much closer as a result. Now it's just execution. So close, guys. I hope at least by the end of this year we can have something to show for this. Actually representative of what I want to make, and not just fan art like this. I mean, fan art could be fine too, I suppose, as long as I feel like it's right, and we will be in good shape here. Our eyes are still not sized the same. I thought I fixed this, but I guess I did not. It's not a difficult fix per se, though. I need to stop using per se, goddammit. Yeah, sorry, George. Don't mean to interrupt your stuff. But yeah, you don't have to feel the need to type it's okay or something like that either. That would exacerbate the process. But what day is today? It's like April, right? So what? April. What is this? A quarter of a year has gone. It's always kind of scary because like you think like April equals 4 out of 12 equals to like 33%, like a third of the year. And it's like, oh shit, a third of the year has gone. No, not yet, right? April just started. Quarter of the year has gone by, and I forgot a lot of like I cannot remember what did I do this year. Let me take a quick look here. What is new this year? Like I don't need to know like what kind of process, but what did I try this year that I haven't tried before? I haven't looked at my subscriber numbers for so long too. We're still gaining like 1 a day-ish, which is kind of interesting. Let me see live. Yesterday one got pretty blocked because of the copyright music. Let me see. We have like a full... It cannot be seen where though. I wish it would tell me sometimes. Like it does. I don't get this copyright problem, man. So you would think like the copyright holders are in Japan. They don't want you to use their copyright intellectual property, like it's not intellectual property, copyright material without permission. So they would probably block it in Japan, right? But it's always just blocked in Russia or like Belarus. But like why though? How does that work? Right, add revenue plate to the claimant. As long as I don't have ads turned on, I think that's fine. Sorry, as long as they don't force the ads to be turned on the video itself, I think that's fine. So let me go back to earlier this year real quick. I just want to see what is it that I did this year, because I'm drawing a complete blank right now. Oh, okay. Also, these are this year. Oh, it's kind of last year continuing. So we did more color stuff. I think this is the one that I learned that like crazy colors isn't necessarily too crazy, right? It's just more of like holding the value in check and then just being a little bit more free and try to group the hues a little bit better. Actually, like the biggest breakthrough so far is that process that we talked about earlier this week, of grounding things in memories and then adding stuff. And the second one is about this idea of grouping, because it seems like all of everything that I like for colors and render is all about grouping, right? So for colors wise, it's about grouping the values, the hue and the saturation, kind of like these references here. And then for rendering wise, it's also grouping, because it's about getting bigger shapes rather than smaller and tinier and fractured details and stuff like that. We do want textures, but it will only be on the borders, right? So it seems like grouping is what I like. So I guess it's like simplification is the big deal here. Okay. What else is there? Let me see. So after this, it was More colors. Oh, we did this. This was kind of a, I guess, a confidence booster. Maybe it boosted it a little bit too much. As you can tell, like, we kind of went on to do this Fae piece, which got really out of hand, right? But this was a good confidence booster. I think I learned here that the whole idea of doing black and white first, and then going from that same black and white position into a color position is really hard. You should just use the black and white as a separate reference and then repaint from scratch, because then you don't get affected by a bunch of different values on your canvas when you put in the first color. Because the moment you put in the first color, that contrast against the black and white, the rest of the canvas is black and white, is insanely high. And having to mentally like sort of block it out while trying to decide on the next color is really hard for me. So that was the thing that I learned here. Also, composition was interesting because it keeps changing, because I keep changing how many characters are in there. So there was some takeaway from composition. Phase piece was more about storytelling. Then the competition piece for the Arknights thing. This was kind of a doozy because it was the composition was tricky. I tried the multi-canvas nonsense. It kind of worked, kind of didn't work. I still don't really like the color looking at it now, but I can't even put my finger on it. I think it's just a little bit too many colors, perhaps. Plus, like the blue on the pants. Alright, this is so saturated actually. This should have been desaturated a bit more. But the one thing I liked about this was the rendering. I think the rendering wasn't too bad, especially for the hair, because we kind of started off like this, right, where we have like a lot of rough lines and stuff. But when I started painting it, it wasn't necessarily too crazy. This piece was still pretty good. This one is still sitting on my it's still my desktop over here. I see this every day and I'm thinking to myself that it doesn't, it stands as a style, you know. It is a simple binary setup. We have no reflected light or anything. We could put in some gradients if we would like, right? That's very easy to do, but we can choose not to. Simple big shapes, idea is clear. Line art is decently loose, but still pretty clean. The main problem is the fact that line art is translucent. But other than that, like, that's also not a difficult fix if we want to. Animation for Faye, I think I just like the proportion that I have for her face. And then more of the difficult piece that we never finished, and then we got super burned out at this point. And throughout this whole, like, these 2 months here, like throughout all these behind the scenes, I was working on the website, and I was working on the tools, both of which are established and usable. And then more nonsense that's just more recent stuff, I think. So yeah, I might do some tagging. So like I think maybe starting here-ish is where I started my website nonsense, but and then we did a one-on-one. I mean, it's been a pretty packed year. Yeah, it feels like it's been a pretty packed year, because considering this is all outside of actual work, right? I don't know. I don't want to give myself no credit, because that seems kind of. I think, like, from you guys' point of view, I would be kind of annoyed if the guy is like, oh, he did so much, but he's not giving himself credit. I would be kind of annoyed if I were you guys. But like at the same time, I'm very wary of giving myself credit, because it sets me up for failure. It doesn't really feel like. I mean, we made some breakthroughs too, so. I think maybe like a couple of videos. I should make a couple of videos. Like, I think we should make at least one Piotegu video on the critique. That one I can make. Drawing in her sort of layering setup and style is a lot harder. That one might not be possible. I might not be willing to spend that time here. Depends. But then the other one being just like a recap of last year. I think previously I wanted to make a video that was about everything I've learned in that year. But the problem with that is that you need to consolidate information, and there's a lot of information. There's 1,000 hours worth of information that needs to be condensed down. And that felt too daunting, so I just gave up on the idea. But there's nothing stopping me from making like a 5-minute video recapping of like, hey, this is what I started off doing. this is all the streams, right? Between this stream number and that stream number, I was doing this because of what? I think that's actually a pretty viable video idea because it wouldn't take that long to write the script. Because the whole point is to keep it short. And then the second part would be the content, right? The content itself, I mean, technically it's all my content. That part is still kind of tedious because I have to go around clipping videos out and trying to figure out what is it that I want to use. I'm gonna contemplate about this tomorrow. Tomorrow, there's quite a few things to clear, I think. I want to give like a more formal write-up of Piotego's layering breakdown. And I want to write a timestamp setup for the video the stream that we did on Monday, so people can reference it. That's the bare minimum that I have to do. Then I have to, I'm gonna write a script for the critique one. It'll be a very quick and short script, targeting 10 minutes. So we're talking like a couple thousand words maybe. And then I'm gonna consider making like a recap video, which is also like a short script, but probably hopefully even shorter. Yeah, okay. I see. I think that would be tomorrow's plan. If I can get all of that done by tomorrow, that would be cool. Before stream, mind you. I need to get it done before. I'm not taking stream time to do this shit. So when I say get it done before, by tomorrow, I mean like before stream starts. Hopefully it's not like a... Yeah, I think it is doable though. It's not necessarily that crazy. Because the layering, I just broke it down again, right? I just broke it down again, so it becomes pretty clear. I have a good idea of what's happening here. The only problem is that if I only present this with text, it's actually kind of confusing. There's nothing better than seeing this. Ooh, interesting. I need to think about this tomorrow. The way that the data is presented needs to be thought about. Need to do it well. If not, it's not going to be very good. Sorry, long run. I suppose we have been moving this year. Recently, it's just not been moving too much. Moving enough, rather. In due time, I suppose. Why is this part so... Oh, because I was using it for the hair. Right. Because it's part of the hair. But I shouldn't be catching that much light. I think that's why it looks weird. That's fine. You can deal with that later. What is complaining about my music? Oh, I guess it's because there's other people's song being converted into a piano here. Well, Freeren's gonna save us. Don't worry. Wow, okay. Freeren's trying to kill us. Hopefully this is fine. Hard light. Hard light seems to kind of work, I suppose. I wonder if I should start recording this. A time lapse here. Not because I want to use it or post it for anything, but I feel like if we're gonna make a video about Piotego's layering setup, this is an example of an attempt. It's always easy for me to think like, hey, I'm streaming it anyways. We have it, no matter what, which is true. But like for video usage, I feel like it needs to be a little bit more targeted sometimes. I need to think about it a little bit more sometimes. Well, not sometimes actually. What is YouTube Studio doing? I keep seeing things pop up and go away before I can see it. Kind of annoying. Don't know what it's doing. Oh wait, that means that part is... Oh wait, why is it so bright there? Oh no way, it doesn't exist here? Oh shit, whoops. A Lamau? Yeah, you better I better be good with my layerings, man. Like this is that's what I do here. It's the white part, right? So like, sorry, this part? Wait a second. What am I painting right now? Oh wait, is it because of this? Oh yeah, it's because of this. Okay, okay, hang on. Man, I'm this is like some weird mental gymnastics here. I'm trying to figure out like what's happening with this layering. Because I don't get it. Also, I realized this maybe should have been merged down. No, but it's applying to everything equally. Ooh. Should this have not been already merged down in this structure? Now I'm not sure. I do kind of like what's happening here, I think. Sorry, I'm just gonna write a to-do list for tomorrow real quick. Brain is trying to ping me. I don't want it to ping me constantly. Kind of annoying. To... Okay, do that, and then we're good. Here it is. Done. Okay, that is stable. Is this as dark as I want it to be? I can always adjust it later. Oh wait, the eyes are separate. No, the eyes are minimal, so it doesn't matter. So even for Piotego, like even for her, as merged as everything is, the eyes and face are all on their own layer, regardless, I think. There's always the eyes on their own separate thing. Actually, the dogs one isn't, huh? Wait, what? Why not? Wouldn't it make sense to have the other mouth together too? So this is just part of the base color. It's like part of a... You know, for someone who decided that like the pattern on the dog is the same idea as the pattern on the clothing, I'm surprised that the mouth and the eyes are not also treated the same way. So that's where she draws the line. That's interesting. Oh, right. Same layer. Actually, no, I probably shouldn't go blue. I could go darker, but maybe not even here. So the eyes here, I want to push down, but I can only push down as much as the iframe allows me to, though. Or can I? Or can I? Yeah, okay, it's kind of annoying. Gonna draw circles with square brushes. I keep getting distracted, but I would like a high quality picture of Rossi. Like the one that they use for her banner is so high res and you can see into her eyes a lot clearer. This one that I grabbed is maybe a little bit too zoomed out. Is this full res? I think it's at least better than what I have. How do I copy this image? Yo, what the fuck? This website sucks, man. All the website sucks, dude. What? Did I delete something I shouldn't? No, I think I'm fine. Oh no, I got it. Copy. Tell me it's better. Yeah, that's way better, okay. It's like 5 times bigger. Okay, this will do. Oh, it's a W setup. Actually, let me put the irises in first. And then pull it down. The W sequence? Or it's kind of inverted now. Koれ. So much space here now. The problem. Yeah, it's way too much space perhaps for this setup. But why does it look okay, right, without the pupil? Oh, right. Can do. Push yellow, push orange, push red. Okay. So we do the full spectrum. This dark is not very good right now. So we'll deal with that in a bit. But I want her eyes to glow. I think it would look nice. There's actually this one artist that always comes to mind when I... It was the artist that we kind of want to follow a reference for face picture too. Her name is Sushi Spin. They do slightly suggestive art. But the colors has always been really, really nice to me because it's very, very grouped. Sushi spin. I guess this would be my daily for today. Actually, I don't remember how saucy it is. I don't think it's that bad. But like colors wise, I think it's always been very grouped together. Anyways, sorry, I should have sent this a little bit earlier too. Keep forgetting. Not particularly glowing, I suppose. Oh, wait, how would that fit into this though, right? Because the ref. What? Where am I? Right, we could group everything except for the eyes, and the eyes we push very high contrast, and then it would stand out above everything else as a result. What the hell? Let's just do something. What should I do here? Glow maybe should be done through glow dodge. That might be easier. Glow dodge's problem is that it's what? It tends to be a gradient, but I would like more hard edges in here. Right, because the iris are maybe a little bit too bright. But either way, though, I need to set out the contrast. So I need to push the borders, maybe. Down sequence and then this line, right? And you're gonna push blue. I cannot see anything. Where are we right now? Correct. Kinda makes sense with the purple. If I were to put something blue, maybe you might as well go purple, I guess. The other side has no specific requirements. I wanted to go darker, but then the frame, right? Oops. Hello, Uni. The red's too bright for this. If I were to put this much, it's a bit too much. Maybe I come back to the eyes. I don't really know what I want out of it. Bloop, 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 bloop. As long as it's very high contrast, a lot of stuff going on, I think it's fine. Skin sequence. I wonder. There's no equivalent here, I think. I'm trying to figure out how I would put in, say, for example, a blush on the face using Piotego setup, because that's what I'm trying to do today. I'm trying to use the same layering setup. What would that be under? Huh. I don't know. What would it be? Oh, right. I forgot I have to select things. Why does it... Wait, why does this look like this? Why is that? Did I not fix the color? I guess not. More gray. But we do have the shadows. You can just switch to 5. doing anything? What? Oh, because I have the selection. Oops. Yeah. One specific case. Strictly speaking, in the dark, therefore, same layer, right? Does that mean it's always the dark? The space is like this. Portion of it. I think dark hard light actually doesn't care, right? Hard light doesn't mean that it always makes it brighter, right? Hard light can actually make it darker. Oh, it can. Okay, I see. So hard light is more of like just a the color being very insistent. It's like I insist on being this color a little bit more than soft light. Then what's the point? What does the word light even mean though in this case? Is it not just a normal layer then? Hmm. This kind of feels like the kind of video that I would make, just because it's very technical. I can break it down. I can break down the math. Okay, so if you have multiple parts, it's good because precisely it does this. But what happens when there's a very specific shape that needs? Gara? そういうことでも違うんでしょ Yes. very curious, I think. Something like it feels like this way of working in Piotegu's way is. I wonder how it carries over if there's a lot of very fine-tuned details because what I'm thinking is that you have everything on one layer. It's really good for big adjustments, right? Because everything is affecting, like every stroke that you put in, every airbrush you put in affects everything. But let's say you have like some smaller shapes in there that has their own sort of color, like this tiny speck on the nose here. I could use the same layering setup, right? So there's the dark colors, then there's the light colors, and then the light colors is selectively being shown using a layer mask. Otherwise, it would just be everything, right? And then in between, she sort of sandwiches this hard light layer, which is responsible for basically everything else that the shadow needs to do. So in this case here, right, you have secondary light source on the sky. You have reflected light from the bottom from the green grass on the legs here and the pants. Right, you can kind of see that. Maybe atmospheric perspective that's very saturated just to emphasize. Maybe to fit the theme of the image. As well as like a subsurface scattering, the yellow on the green here. So so fitting this plan right now, I have hard light here that's also responsible for this nose thing. But if I end up changing like these other gradient on the outside, for example, it's gonna override that since it's on the same layer. I guess we could just make more layers. And I think in her case, it's not like there's no precedence here. There is a precedence of splitting the layers here. Between texture and like other stuff, like some kind of color adjustment thing. Okay, I suppose that would make sense. But everything is still under this hard light sequence, I wonder. Because I was just thinking, like, all these tinier details, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to repaint or, like, keep there if everything is still on the same layer. Anyways. This whole exposition probably isn't isn't worth the time spent listening to it because, like, at the end of the day, like, you know, hey, it doesn't work, just make more layers. But it just feels kind of odd to be bringing back a bunch of layers when the whole point of it was to reduce it down to its bare minimum. I guess in this case it is required and not. I mean, colors-wise, it's kind of okay-ish. The rest of the body I kind of ignored a little bit. There's some shadow here that doesn't really make sense, like this glove being darker, but it's somehow redder. But this is not redder. Oh, it's because of the airbrush I did. Oh, okay, okay. It's because of this. Ah, whoops. Just blew everything up. What should this be, right? Oh, but this makes it darker? Oh, I guess the map isn't quite the same, right? This is not actually a normal layer. Okay. Everything else I want to fade. We can do our own setup too. Whatがいいんだろうな。 Oh, right. This should be on top of everything. Oh, other than the background. I mess up the same way every time. Where's my the outside picture? Yeah, the color almost feels like it should be on the line too, no? But regardless, that's not important. Yeah. Oh, I did it again, didn't I? It's kind of meh. Young Cat has a birthday? What? What do people do? They just play the song? We should all eat a cake. We should all eat a cake to celebrate. Oh, what a great reason to buy a cake now. Another entire cake just for me. 8 whole slices. 15 years ago was uploaded, I see. Wait a second. When is it uploaded? Ria is also 15 years old. Let me check. Young Cat. Oh yeah, right. YouTube doesn't tell you, huh? Like how many, what specific day it was uploaded. Let me see if you can find it on Google. April 2nd. Account follows me on Twitter. That is a big flex. Oh my god. Surely they don't follow that many people, right? Do they follow like thousands of people or what? Let me see. Yeah, 200. What? They follow 244 people, and one of them is you. That is the biggest flex I've ever heard. I would, oh my god, I would put that on my resume. That is such a good conversation starter. You do have to make up a story if there's no other reason for it, but oh, that's like a I said. Oh, I see. I was looking at the one that apparently also calls themselves official. So the one like this is the one that I'm guessing is the one you're talking about, 1641. There's another one here, Nyan Nyan Cat, which looks exactly the same, has 130,000 followers themselves, which is like 3 times the other one. So they have 2. Not doing a coin, beware of scams. I see. That's interesting. Well, they're like the... I don't know when Ria came about exactly. But then if I use my own birthday in the year of 2011, then she young cat would be like 4 months older, I guess. Same year though, pretty cool. Sometimes I wish Ria's like birth year would be exactly 2010 or something, like a nice cutoff. But now this is great. Now I got a new piece of trivia. Same year, 2011. I can live with this. Now I don't have to wonder about 2010 no more. It's a bit too red. I think if I want to do this, this is a bit too much. Can't tell. Maybe it's too much. Maybe it's not enough. Yeah, just a speck. I think that's like 100. Most of the colors, I think. Ah, yes, the skin is looking really pale. No perceivable change. Why is it so purple here? What have I done? Oh, wait, I turned it red. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, so when there's two colors on this side. Oh, no, but it's maintained by the original. Oh, okay. Okay, I don't know what to do with the background. I'm gonna go and find some references on Pinterest and see if anything interesting comes up. That's another night. This does feel like one of those, doesn't it? I don't want it though. Keikoku Shonen. Twitter is a mess, so Pixiv is better. I wanna see this mess. 26.9k followers. Oh, it's alright, it's alright. Although I can't tell which one's finished and which one's a sketch. これ楽が Did I log in actually after I changed my computers on Pixiv? Shit, I didn't log in on Pixiv yet. I think you can still view stuff on Pixiv. Hang on, I'm just gonna send links here real quick. He scored. There you go. One. Wait, post? No, I'm not logged in, right? I thought I was logged. Okay, I'm gonna go Twitter then. Unfortunately, I didn't log in yet. I think even rough work is kind of interesting. This is all rough sketches, by the way, according to their own tweet. Yeah, everything's hand-drawn. I think only now, after like starting the streams and doing all these studies and stuff, I realized that a lot of these like there's this sort of like very fantasy-esque style that like this, it's kind of like this as well. Made in Abyss original art as well, I think. I saw like a couple of dailies too. Anyways, I was gonna say like well, these are pretty rendered though. There are some like that are not necessarily that rendered and just mostly carried by the lines and stuff. And then a lot of the colors are just big airbrushes. And then like big shapes for the shadows. Like a lot more details is in the like the actual lines and all the layouts and stuff, rather than being in the shadows necessarily. And like basically not defining the forms so much. If that makes sense. This is the old art apparently. Oh, not safe for work. There was one with the ash ship that I saw. I think I scrolled down quite a bit. Actually, what is this? This has to be gradient map, right? I think this has to be gradient map. It's like the perfect application of gradient map. Maybe they did paint it directly in color, but... There's the old stuff too. Is this for printing? Is that why this is backwards? Oh yeah. Somehow. Yeah, it's really very hand-drawn vibes. Actually, looking at this is... The lines are really rough, the colors are really rough. But the idea is delivered across, and it's actually pretty high fidelity. You can still make out all the like different floors and the different windows. And the kind of geometry that they're going for. Although I don't know if it's intentionally curved or it's just part of the hand-drawnness of it. Well, they even went ahead and did the what do you even call this? Like the translucent panel, and then you can see like the beams behind it. I guess it is probably referenced, but it's like a VR chat map. Like how crazy it is, like a VR chat map. Hmm. I don't remember. I cannot read this word. So what, is this meant to be a way of transportation? I think. So this whole write-up is all about like sort of school and like when school ends and like that's like different well, what's the word, like school ends before noon, and then like there's like a couple hours you have to go between classes or something. Almost I used to have a detailed breakdown of like every object in the background designs. I see. Like a lot of these, I don't know what to call these types of design. They feel fantasy-esque, but they're like also kind of partly modern. Fantasy is always like very medieval, right? Like you got like candles and shit. That's about it. But then over here we get like go-karts, we get like you know, electricity and civilization, kind of, as we know it. But then there's this like stacking layer upon layers of buildings and rooms and stuff like that. It is kind of fantastic. I feel like it would be really fun. Like, a world like this, it would be really interesting, at least, I guess, to us, because, like, this is nothing like our own. But, like, just a random-ass train here. This tram looks so tiny. It probably, like, fit, like, 5 people in it or something. And then you take 2 steps, it's like a giant cliff face. It looks like a cliff face everywhere. Oh, actually, it's interesting because I don't I vaguely remember reading and watching video essays about city and urban planning, but a lot of the architecture is meant to sort of exert control over the population. Because I feel like some things like these, right, probably wouldn't really fly unless like everybody's really well behaved. Because it's so easy to sabotage, it's so easy to break things down, it's so easy to fall off the edge. Like, people need to have self-control and stuff like that. I don't know, like, to not drink and then, like, walk around here and fall off the edge and then lead to, like, a couple accidents to themselves and everybody below, and then, like, the government has to step in and have regulations, and then these kind of things would be gone or something. So, like, the fact that the architecture is the way it is kind of has some, like, additional implications on the society by extension, and I think that's interesting. But I don't know what kind of study... what kind of discipline that is academically. Because I'm sure there's like, I don't know, city planning, urban planning, sociology, maybe one of those things people actually think about. Maybe architecture themselves, right? Like architects themselves think about how people interact with the space. Yeah, I really like the idea. This is peak, like not worrying about like super hardcore detail, although honestly this is still very detailed. Like, they're going to like the almost individual faces of beams. I mean, there are individual faces of beams, but like there's additional details on... Are these like sketches or are these considered done by them? I wonder. It seems like it's done, right? Like, it's like a whole write-up to this. It's not like saying like it's a sketch, like kind of what the other ones have. So this is like peak composition, storytelling, world design. but like not focusing too much on like line quality, render quality, although it is still pretty up there. These individual steps and planks down here. This is wow, this is really good. Actually, this would serve as like a really good sort of representation. Oh, you know what I need? Oh god. Okay, bigger. Okay, I see. Give me a second. Sorry. Getting slightly distracted, but I would like to because a big problem with the tags, right, like I mentioned before, is that some of it is too much based on preference. But if I can, for example, have a way to allow a visual representation of what each tag means, then it becomes a lot easier to sort of understand what the tag is supposed to be and what should or should not be tagged as such. I'm just gonna make a note here in my to-do list. This to-do list never gets any shorter, by the way. It's been getting longer every time I write it. Ooh. I clipped my tablet here. Alright, that will do. The bigger environments are more rendered. Yeah, I want to see like how... Okay. I see what you mean by... well, what is this? Is this a book? Did he draw the boobs? Hello? I'm dumb, I'm painted. I want ease of expression. Short music, short story. Oh, sorry. Am I reading in the wrong order? What? Did they post it? Wait, what? Did they post the book backwards so you can read it in the correct order? Is this what's happening? Because this looks like the cover page. But it's posted latest. No, wait. This is also the cover page. Okay, never mind. But I think we got... I mean, I'm not gonna get what I'm looking at either way, I feel like, but... Wait, this looks just like the ship in, was it Fallout 3? Or was it one of the other Fallouts where you have, like, the Brotherhood of Steel? They get, like, the giant ash ship by the name of Pridwin, I think? Kinda looks like that. Is this a furry character? Like, one of this art here that I saw, this dragon here, it's very Japanese furry coded vibes for me. Like like the way that there are shoulders. Animals don't have shoulders the same way humans do, right? Like quadrupeds, their forearms, the bone structure is different from how ours work. But when people draw like sort of furry characters with shoulders like this, like actually that's not the point. The point is like just like this dragon design, having like kind of like big chest muscles, but not really. In this case, it's being replaced by something else. But it's always a very muscular dragon quadruped sort of form, but with human shoulders standing on two legs. Like that vibe is like a very Japanese furry vibe for me. I feel like I've seen a lot of like every time I see a design like that, it's always like a Japanese furry, not like a Western furry. Anyways, did they repaint the whole thing in night and day? Is that what I'm seeing? Hang on a second. Did they keep the grass and stuff consistent? So it's like a layer manipulation thing, right? Ah, okay, I see. Pretty cool. Yes, thank you, Uni. This is very unique, I would say. The design, the render, the way things are presented. Also the artists themselves, of course. Also the artists themselves. I don't know what the pictograph thing is about, but it does leave an impression. That's for sure. Like they talk about contrast in art. This is contrast in your timeline, and it is up there. What is the time frame of this posting here? So the latest one was what? January 14th, was it? Did I see? Yo, bro, where's the top of this chain, dude? What? January 14, 2025. If that is to be believed, if I did scroll to the right position. Oh, it's just like one day, maybe? Like, he posted everything in one day? Oh, okay. Interesting. I mean, wow, this is truly a creator. They create all manners of things. Didn't even get to it? Oh, how far down is it? These look, oh, maybe like these ones? Oh, these are still pretty rough. Wow, okay, it's like, how long have you been doing this? There's so many. Surely they've like written a couple of stories by now, right? Like there's like so many of these. And they all seem to be... Well, at least the previous one had like a write-up that seemed to have like a very distinct, very clear story. Fix it a bit better because they repost. I see. Yeah, okay. This Pixiv situation is at least I can look at the thumbnails, I suppose. Let me see. Like older, you mean? Actually, when is their first one? 2019. This looks so interesting though. But I cannot imagine living life like kind of here and there. I suppose that if you are from this world, it would be very natural. But like imagine carrying your stock into your shop that's over here. Like no railings, no nothing. I'm sure like 10 elderly people fall off the map every day or something. Yes, thank you. Yes, right, yeah, no one can post any links here. Oh, is their website? Imperial Boy. Imperial Boy. The direct translation. I think the nuance for boy and shonen is quite different. Are they even the same word? But yeah, fall off the damn map. Okay, yeah, this is this feels like what they have previously, but like with a slightly clean set of edges. But I guess it's not enough resolution to tell. But I feel like a lot of it is the particle. Actually no. Half and half. I feel like the particles do a lot of work in situations like this. What is this bell for? I've blocked notifications. Sure, what website is this? Their own website, right? Oh, no, it's not. Sorry, character design. Oh, I see, I see. Do they have a website? Oh, this must be like something old or something. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, this is a different level of render, I mean, compared to the current ones that we saw. I see, yeah. Oh, man. There's no way you ever see me doing this. Not even with 3D, not even with photo bashing, I don't think. I don't think I ever get to this point, man. Oh, you know what? It's actually kind of interesting because looking at this, right? Your eyes don't naturally fall onto anything at all, and like logically, I think like the initial sort of impression that I feel that I get is that hey, shouldn't you find like an area for focus? You know, like a focal point, and try to reduce the detail here and there. But then I guess the whole point of this art is to just overwhelm you with detail. That is the point, right? So having like a huge homogeneous patch of like high detail area is exactly what they want in this situation. Maybe like some of the layering between the buildings, separation could be clearer, but then otherwise, seeing everything as is like this is, I guess, the point. Huh, wait. What was the ping on this feed? Huh. But we never written that before, right? Anyways, a very, very side note. I really like platforms like these. I don't know how to describe it, but you have a cliff, essentially. You have a giant ass fall off, and then the platform itself is like a platform, right? It's not like a solid block of rock or something. It's like a literal platform with this very dangerously exposed edge. It's just a flat surface and then like some kind of building or something. Oh no, but it's also because of the position of this, I think. Because you can look up and look down. And there's my main buildings to look at. If this was like a canyon or something, I wouldn't have cared, I think. Yeah, anyways, I'm trying to drill down to some of these things that I like to see if I can make it more concrete, but sorry, yeah, anyways, thank you, Uni. This does remind me of the other, my own favorite environment artist from the past. Anyways, this individual here. It's kind of similar, except this guy is a bit more... Actually, I don't know. Is this more sci-fi, I guess? It's just more sci-fi. And like some of the details are not necessarily as planned out. I feel like a lot of these are just random boxes and shapes and squares. Whereas our artist over here, I feel like has a much more fleshed out environment. There's a lot more irregular shapes, like these roofs, slanted roofs or something. It's so hard to see. And then tiny details like these lights in the back. But this was the guy that got me inspired for art, I think, from the very beginning. This was like before 2011, maybe? I don't remember. Oh, they got a tiny thing. Oh, look at that. Neat, neat. Dang, I tried to meet them twice, right? But, well, 3 times I think it was total. But they were always sick, and they weren't there, and someone was selling the art for them, like Comic Cat. Comic Cat? Yeah, Comic Cat, Comitia, and Design Festa, I think it was. Maybe another time. Wow, they've been going to Comic Cat for like over 10 years now. Anyways, a bit too distracted. But yes, thank you again. Yeah, your eyes wander, look around. Yes, indeed. Man, it's so sad. Like, I guess I don't know, maybe like 40, 50, at least surely 100 years later, if the world is still around, like games would be at that level of fidelity, right? Resolution, right? People would truly be walking side by side with the anime waifus. Wow, think of a society where no one's gonna want real life relationships at that point anymore. I think we probably maybe even today. But you know, as I walk side by side with your waifu, you can fly around the world. You can like freaking explore every single nook and cranny in that in a world as detailed as what we have just seen, and everything will be driven by AI. So every single NPC and character and everything else in that world will be just as real as what we would perceive in real life. Assuming, of course, the world is still around by then. But how nice. Oh my gosh, this is... Oh my god, I need to just put this up somewhere. Oh my god, how nice, dude. How nice were these people? Bro. I should just have these two ready to go anytime, dude. I fucking love this one. Oh my god, dude. This is my reference from now on. Okay. Yeah, all these people in the future. Wow, nice. So happy for you guys. So happy for you guys. You guys and your world of like hardcore anime games and like open world to the extreme, fully immersive VR experience. Probably like immortal. You guys don't have to do this thing called dying. You know, no cancers. You know, I'm stopping myself here because I realized that maybe like probably like 100 years ago, someone thought exactly the same thing about us. But surely 100 years later, it's gonna be better as long as people are still around. That is, because progress is exponential, and at some point, the progress should be enough to just nuke all the problems out of our lives. I think. Maybe nuke isn't the best word here, actually. It might have way more than one meaning at the rate that we're going. Anyways, I digress. I don't really know what to do. I think the main idea here is to put like a couple of like a wolf-looking characters. Sorry, what do I have here? Right, yeah, these things on the side here, maybe. These are not AI, is it? Are these AI? Wow, okay. Wait, no, it's not AI. It's got the watermark. But the words are so weird. These are not Korean words, but like they're like Korean-ish words. But you see like the watermark here? So did someone use AI generate and then put a watermark on it and then... It's not very concrete, but like this hair here is so square. Yeah, they could watermark. Yeah, I think I just can't really understand like the mentality behind it. It's yeah, like this hand here also. Like the hair, maybe I can look past that. Maybe it's just a thing like they did with the hand and then like they just maybe just ignored it because this is pretty rough. Clothing makes no sense. The clothing makes no fucking sense, dude. Holy shit, what am I looking at? You're right, yeah, that makes no sense. Oh my god, fuck's sake. But everything else is pretty consistent. Like, I feel I have seen renders like these before. Kind of indeterminate, like not really sure what like the specific tinier details are, but like the big shapes that is being implied is about the same kind of vibe. The hair, yeah, I guess the hair looks kind of weird now. Okay. We're just taking the idea, I suppose. Broski. Really a broski moment. Oh, we should just put Enmin here. What am I thinking about? Like, I just put Enmin here. Isn't Enmin a rabbit right now? Let's copy and paste the, oh, Enmin rabbit, actually. Mine rabbit. Hang on. Oh, sorry, I should probably search Enfield Rabbit. No, wait, that would bring me the other one. Um, okay, this makes perfect sense. Very fitting too, given the current event. The colors in my navigator look different. Different good or different bad? It's like what I can't figure out. I think we don't have enough grays compared to the original one. The original one had a lot of those grays that I like. But more importantly, it's just a bit... Okay, you know what? Let me quickly overall adjust something real quick. Let me see how I can make this a bit better. What is it that I want to do, though? Maybe like a lighten kind of situation? Oh, but lighten is too strong, huh? Maybe like a screen situation. I want screen only on the shadows, right? So maybe do this. This is the part that is the light, so I just invert. Put it on here. And then what? Just a little bit brighter. A little bit more blue. Or is it doing anything? Oh. Oh, because right, I turned on opacity. Maybe it's just the white parts I need to make gray. Not sure. I kind of like the colors. I also kind of don't like the colors. Something there's a gap here that I'm not sure what it is yet. I'm going to just ignore it for now. Let's put the admin in here somehow. Admin. Wait, not you. This. The onion lady. Onion. Wait, no, that's not this. Why would admin rabbit be here though? Not really sure. I think I have to actually draw this thing. Where's my brush? Oh, this here. Okay, fine, Broski. Oh, I see. That's the hood. Or maybe it'll be easier if it's just. Triangle. Shaft. Okay. It's kind of an awkward pose here, I think. Anyways, I think maybe the plan is to just fill up the space with this. Maybe. Let's see. What? Did someone mod her to be white or something? What is this? This is like wow, is this insane modding? Changing colors on the fly. The hell is that in the years? Oh my god. Anyways, don't have it. Like what I wanted was to fill up the space with more wolves, but I don't know what the motif looks like, what the design looks like. There is a one icon on her shorts, but it wasn't very. I think it looked a little bit weird. It was like very long and stuff. It wasn't like a full character kind of thing. Anyways, either way, I think I'll just fill out the space with more admins. Admin rabbit. Or maybe just one might do, actually. One. But the spacing here is kind of weird. I can have like one more here or something. It's not symmetrical, right? I have a pain. This could be possibly shifted over, and then I'll just fill this space out. But then it makes a very obvious pattern. I feel like maybe offset it by a little bit, but then this is a weird spot here. Actually, like referencing cat pictures is probably the best for this. I don't know what kind of weird cat poses we can do, but like maybe one where the head is facing down, the legs are up, but then we don't really see the face, more just the head. The top of the head here. Maybe she's like reaching out or something, I don't know. Current initial planning, I think I'll leave it at this stage. I'll probably continue, I will continue this tomorrow. Try to wrap it up. I don't know how far I'm going with the rendering though. I don't know what the rendering might look like. I always like the colors. I'm just wondering about the rendering on the hair here. I think just more general stuff, like a big airbrush marker strokes, and then tiny details drawn in with hard edge brushes. Let's see. Line art is kind of non-existent, but I guess the gaps kind of serve as the same. Oh, a bit saucy for streams. Oh, what? I like their colors. There's a lot of grouping going on, but anyways, rendering, huh? I should try rendering for sure. Let me think. Right. Is this a solid block of color? Oh, it is. It did merge everything. I guess the bright stuff is merged together. Okay, that makes sense. So what are they painting then? They're still painting that same color but on the part. Then what about the... Does that mean that I don't need this anymore? I still need that. Okay, so what I cannot wrap my head around right now is, so this is purely light layer only. But then it's completely a solid block of color though. So previously this light layer is a solid block of color, but there is a clipping mask on it. Wait, hang on. So if I pretend that I'm Pyotegu for a second, I would have duplicated everything. I would have merged everything. It stays on hard light. But then theirs is a normal layer. Are these exactly the same layers if I keep them on normal? Oh, it's different. Oh, no, it's gonna be different because it's one's rendered and one's not, but... Right, I can't figure out what's happening with the shadows here. Because if I had merged it, I think this one here would have a bunch of gaps. No, it doesn't have the gap. Oh, wow. Okay, I don't fully understand how Clipseo the stuff works and the logic. Maybe it's because this was merged like this. And then it stays within this. Then are these the same then? I mean, it would be the same problem before. Wait, hang on a second. So if I were her, right, if she was painting on this layer, what color is she painting with? If I pick as is, I always pick the display color, so this will definitely be too dark, right? Because it's before, it's after the highlights applied. So we're applying it twice, essentially. So I will have to pick color. Sorry, not that. Pick color from layer. I will pick this color, say for example, I pick this. And then I will paint. Yeah, okay, so it's on this layer. So what does that even mean then? If I had duplicated this like before... Oh, sorry, I already had duplicated it. Kept this normal. Turn this off, right? So I think this is where she started. I think this part I could confirm because it is also... I think this is the part where she started off when we had the one-on-one, but... Right, so with this layer, it has everything on it. And then I would just pick colors and paint. Alright, okay, this... Right now, this makes sense. Right now, this makes sense. But does this only work because I have this, then? If I don't have this, and I only merge this... Oh, it is still everything, but I see. So if I disable the mask, it's everything. But because I merge it... But doesn't that mean that I'm applying this? Then this will have gaps in it. So this gradient layer is not only there to serve as color adjustment, but also to actually fill up that empty spots. I'm gonna need a bit more time with this file to fully understand what's happening here. I think that means we are going to render this. But in her original setup, her lines are entirely clean. I don't know how that's gonna play out for us. Because for us, if you want to paint over the lines, it's gonna be a different, slightly setup, and we have to be painting on top. But anyways, I'll think about it tomorrow. I'll stop here. At least we got the color somewhere I like. I hope that remains the case tomorrow when I come back. But otherwise, thank you guys for coming. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, guys. Goodbye.